G'day and welcome to another episode. Today we've got a few little niggly issues to fix up on the Hyosun, but first I better start this off right. Get my buttons pressed. Got to say g'day to Ruben, Thomas, Patrick and Micah. Nice to have you guys along with the channel. For those of you who maybe are new to this video, maybe you just found it, we're going to quickly go through, cover off everything we've done to the Hyosun so far. So this is a 2013 GV250. Few customizations. Obviously it started off a bit like this, so why don't I show a little photo of how it used to look, and this is it now. So I guess in terms of the modifications that we've done, we've got a new tail section, so that includes a new number plate bracket with a stoplight on it and sort of custom indicators which are actually just cut down camp lights. We've got a new rear tail hoop with a second brake light and indicators mounted on it. Reason for that is mainly I just didn't want to get pinned for it being illegal. I wasn't sure which one was legal, so I just figured more lights the better. We've got a custom rear bobber seat with replaced springs because the standard quality ones that came with the seat were just no good. I've got a few odds and ends that we've blacked out along the way, and of course we've got the front gauges are blacked out, headlights blacked out, and the front fender's been cut down quite significantly just to get that better fit. I did used to have a different set of handlebars on here. I swapped out for a drag bar for a period there. You might have already seen the video on that. My reason for actually swapping back to the stock ones is that I do a lot of riding on this bike, about an hour and a half a day, where I was before old Rona hit. And these were just that little bit too short. I had a big lean while I was riding and it was really hurting my lower back. So swap back to the stock ones, save myself a bit of back pain just while I'm riding. But I may actually end up putting these back on in the next week or so. Main reason being I have a new project I'm working on which is probably going to become my daily ride. You can probably see a little bit of it here in the corner. I'm not going to give away too much of that, but I'm thinking a tracker scrambler build for this one. It's going to be different. It's not a Hyosun, but it is pretty close to the Hyosun family. But we'll get to that one probably in the next video. Yeah, maybe then. But today's stuff. So we've got this starter motor to fix. Now put down my handlebars. So basically what I know it's doing, I know the battery is good because I have tested it under load. I know that all the contacts and everything are clean. My starter relay appears to be putting power down to the starter motor itself. So all that's left that it could really be is that starter motor is just a little gunked up, maybe the magnets have come loose. So today I'm going to show you guys how we go through. We take the starter off and we basically pull it apart, have a look inside and see how it works. To start things up, we're just going to disconnect the power lead and earth lead that run off of the starter motor. Then we'll undo the two 10mm bolts that sit on it. We'll get it out, put it on the bench and see how we go from there. Fuck it. Hey Sam! Confession time. I haven't actually done a starter motor on a motorcycle before. Done it on a lot of cars, just never a bike. And I mean, it makes sense now that I think about it, but it kind of turns out that motorcycle starters go through and the gear that engages the flywheel sits in oil. Given there's a case over that does contain oil, probably could have thought ahead and worked that out for myself, but not very clever. Anyway, I'm going to clean up some oil off my floor. Luckily I was able to get wifey out to bring an oil drip tray. Pretty sure I've got more oil to put back in this thing, so we should be able to get it started this video. But I'm going to get the starter out, we're going to drop it on the bench and we'll check it over, see what's going on. Alrighty, so it's a bit dark here, but hopefully you can still see. I've got my starter, put my glove on because, you know, things. We can see there's two bolts on the front of the starter that hold it together. So just undo them. Hopefully not round them out the whole way. I know it's rough, but after spilling oil everywhere, I'm a little bit over this task already. Now, having separated that, ugh. Oh, really? So, funny thing about starters, inside you've got all your brushes where the electricals connect, and these brushes are held in by springs, and by popping the back off like that, which to be fair I had to do because to get the thing apart you got to slide it out, the brushes have all popped out of their springs. That is not going to be fun to get back together, but I'm sure however that went back together was important too. If we have a look inside our starter, you can actually see it's not too unhealthy. I can't actually see a reason why this wouldn't be working other than dirty contacts. So, what I'll do, I'll wash these out, drop it all back together. Basically, we'll be taking these little brushes that sit in here, pushing the springs back in, pushing the brush back in, click it all back together, drop everything back on the front, we'll put it together and we'll see if this fixes our problem. So, I do apologise because this was meant to be a nice little how-to video and I think it might be how to destroy your starter at this stage. So, look, even got a spare spring. You know what? Because it is near on 40 degrees Celsius in this shed, and this is being a real pain in the butt, I'm going to go ahead, off camera, I'm going to clean this off, reassemble it back to the way it was before I started, and I'll pick up with you guys there for a bit more. Alright, back in a minute. And luckily, I got this back together. So, if you end up finding yourself stuck in the situation where you manage to pop all those stupid little springs and bushes out the back, I just used some, these used to be bulldog clips, I just pulled the clip part off of the back and bent it, and sort of used them to push each spring back in and then hold the spring so then I could push the center back in the middle and get it working again. So, back to where I should have started on this before all the recent rambling. To pull this apart, you want to undo the two 8mm on the front. You then want to very carefully, whilst ensuring that you hold the shaft with some downwards pressure, just give this a little tap or a wedge with a screwdriver and pop the front plate forward. From there you can pop the collar itself forward and off, making sure that at all times you're pushing this down into there to keep it in the bushes. You can then pull the whole thing apart. Hopefully you don't need to clean out the contacts in the bottom. If you need to do that, then you run into my problem where you sort of pop it all apart, you got to clean it up and then put it back together. Can be done. If you're stuck in this spot and you really can't get it, I guess you could try shooting me a message. Maybe I can help you out in some way. Otherwise, we're going to throw this thing back on the bike. Moment of truth time. Battery's back on, starter's back on. It's late at night and my garage is closed, so I'm going to be real quick if it starts. I'll see you guys next time when I've got a starter relay to replace. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, all the stuff. I've had it. I'm gonna go have a beer. See yous.